Hi, I'm Abby and this is my story. So from birth, really, I have had very, very poor eyesight. I needed to wear glasses from the age of 2, and at the age of, I think, about 7 or 8, I had to wear contact lenses. At one point, I was the youngest person in Great Britain to wear contact lenses, and that was essentially to save my sight. My vision was deteriorating every year, and there wasn't anything else that could be done to prevent that deterioration. I was fortunate enough that in 2013 technology had advanced enough that there was a new procedure to essentially place contact lenses inside my eyes, which meant that my eyes were not having to work as hard as they did with glasses, and would therefore slow down or prevent the deterioration of my eyes. And that was a real answer to prayer that even came about, because even just the year before it hadn't been a possibility. So I had that done in 2013 and got on with life. I was able to live without glasses for the first time pretty much my whole life, and things were good. And last summer I was fortunate enough to relocate here with my family from the UK, and at the tail end of last year I started to have some trouble with my eyes, just sensitivity to light, discomfort, but more than I thought was normal. And I started looking for an eye doctor close to where we were living, and it turned out that 5 minutes from our house there was one of the best eye doctors in all of Northeast Ohio, and I went and got seen by him, and everybody that looked at my eyes told me firstly that they'd never seen anything like my eyes before, and secondly said that they would never have done the procedure that I had done on somebody my age. It's normally done on people sort of aged around 80, where they're not going to need to use their eyes for too much longer, because essentially I had had chronic inflammation in my eyes for 10 years, which had done a lot of damage. And my surgeon said, we've got to get these lenses out now. It can't wait. So back in March this year, I had the lenses removed, and at every stage of the whole process, my eyes reacted in ways that nobody expected. And it was a really difficult time, because I'd gone from waking up in the morning being able to see to all of a sudden the lenses had been removed and I cannot see without contact lenses. I can't. So, I have a child to look after, and I can't just get out of bed and go to him if he needs me. I need to wear contact lenses. Now my biggest fear has always been the loss of my sight. I can't even imagine what that would be like, especially now having a son. Not being able to see him grow up is my biggest fear. And part of how my eyes reacted to the surgery to remove the lenses was the pressure in my eyes went through the roof. And I'll never forget, it was a Tuesday afternoon. I felt like my head was going to split open, and I went to see my doctor. I wasn't meant to see him until the next day, but I called and said what I was experiencing, and they told me to come right in. And basically I was, first thing next the next day I was having emergency surgery. I was at a real risk of losing the sight in my right eye. And let me tell you, that's a really scary thought. It's been a long road since then, and the end is not in sight. We're currently just in a phase of doing nothing essentially and just letting my eyes calm down and try and recover to get me hopefully one day to a point of being able to have proper vision correction surgery. But it's not on the table for the foreseeable future. So it's been a really trying time, and it's been a very conflicting time as well, because through it all I have seen how God has put things in place at every step. Had we not found the rental house that we did find, I would not have gone to this doctor who, thanks to his expertise, despite my eyes doing things nobody thought they should or would do, my recovery was a lot quicker than had someone else done the surgery. In the UK, the doctors would not have known what to do. God brought me here. He brought me to that doctor. He even gave me a job where my boss has had surgery from my exact same surgeon, so they've been fantastic about me taking whatever time I need for appointments and things like that. So through this whole time, I have known that God is right here with me in the middle of this. Some days that has not made it any easier, but other days it has. And one thing that I've really learned throughout all this is the importance of acknowledging almost the negative feelings, because it's been very tempting to sort of, you know, say the right Christian things of, well, God's in it with me and I know he's got a plan, but actually some days I was terrified, some days I was angry, and that can happen. You can feel those feelings at the same time as being grateful and being thankful and being hopeful. And I think as Christians we need to be better at acknowledging that actually some things are really difficult, some things are really scary, and it's okay to be confused and to be angry, and to not to give too much weight to those feelings, but equally not try to minimise them and sort of just give the platitudes of, well, it could be worse, because it could, but also that can still mean that it's really bad. I've really learned to be honest with myself through it and allow myself to feel those things. It doesn't mean I have any less faith. It just is what I'm experiencing at that time, and God knows that. He understands, he sees how I'm feeling, and he wants me to bring that to him as well, not try and wait until those feelings have gone before going back to him and saying I'm so thankful for my doctor, which I am, but he wants us to bring our fears and our hurts to him. Another thing that was really, really helpful to me during this time was my friendship with Sarah McMahon. So we both ended up experiencing some pretty challenging health events at the same time, potentially life-changing health events. And for me, having somebody who I knew without a shadow of a doubt understood how I was feeling, understood when I was scared and confused and angry and not knowing potentially what the future might look like, and someone who was willing to be honest with me so that I could be honest with her. I can't tell you the difference that made. I mean, it's so wonderful to have people praying for you and people stepping up, and it's fantastic people bringing meals and offering me rides and things like that, which I can't thank people enough for the way they stepped up. But knowing that somebody understands how you feel and having someone walking through that with me got me through it. Some days really got me through it. I actually attended the women's conference back in, I think it was in April, and it was right in the middle of the period where my vision was in jeopardy, and I very nearly did not go. And I probably had every right not to go, but I went because I felt like I should. And it was, the teaching that weekend was on the passage, "The Lord is my shepherd." And actually that's not what spoke to me. I mean, it was great, but there was almost on, I think it was on the Friday evening, almost a throwaway comment that one of the speakers made where they quoted the scripture, "I am fearfully and wonderfully made." And it just absolutely ruined me. And I heard God saying, "You're fearfully and wonderfully made." And he said to me, "I knit you together in your mother's womb. I knew what I was doing then, and I know what I'm doing now." And it's true, he does. He knows what he's doing. Everything is happening as it should. And I just need to hold on to that. So as I look back on the last few months, the scripture that comes to mind is 2 Corinthians 12:9. Each time he said, "My grace is all you need. My power works best in weakness. So now I am glad to boast about my weaknesses so that the power of Christ can work through me." I have felt pretty weak at times these last few months, and God's grace has really got me through it. He's given me this amazing story that tells of his goodness, but none of it is my own strength. And he has very graciously surrounded me with the most amazing people to encourage and support me and bring food when I couldn't see and just really show me that I may be weak, I may feel completely spent, but he will get me through it. His grace is sufficient. What I would say to somebody going through a trial right now would be to reach out and ask for help. I am the sort of person who, if someone asks how I'm doing, my go-to answer is, "I'm fine, I can manage." But I actually had a friend in April, when I had replied, "I'm fine," say to me, "Don't rob God's people of the chance to be his hands and feet. We were not made to walk this journey alone. Allow others to draw alongside you, to help you when you don't feel strong enough. There's a family here at Western Reserve, and family look out for each other. So accept the help."